All right, all right, all right. Muy buenas tardes a ustedes. Vamos a empezar. Got to try to get something set here. All right. Vamos a empezar ahora. So let's make sure we've got everything put together here. Right, más o menos. I'm going to try to make this thing work here and see if everything is ready to go. All right, bienvenidos, damas y caballeros, que lo que hay. Y vamos a continuar con mi rutina diaria. And this right here is going to be super, super extensive. We're going in on this one. So if you're joining us for the first time here, bienvenidos a todos. Bienvenidos a todos aquí. Welcome to everybody that's here. Soy Profe Don Omar, and in this live lesson, we'll be taking a deep dive into a continuation of Tu Rutina Diaria. All right, so we're talking about daily routine part 2. We're bringing this to you live and direct. Make sure you got a notebook, una libreta or cuaderno to make sure you gather this information that will be coming to you live with today. And I'm going to, kind of be in and out of the screen here. But first and foremost, we are talking about Tu Rutina Diaria. How can you express that, right? That's what we're bringing to you today. So, a couple of questions that I want you to make sure you're aware of at the beginning as we accomplish this, or we go to accomplish this task that we have here. These are some questions that are going to pop up. This is some information that we're going to cover. So I want to make sure you understand these by the end of the actual lesson. What is a reflexive verb? When do I use a reflexive verb? Like, what's the point of it? Okay. What are the reflexive pronouns in Spanish? And then where do I place a reflexive pronoun in a sentence in Spanish? Like, where does it go when I create a statement that I want to tell someone? Okay. And then lastly, I believe we have one more. How do I conjugate a reflexive verb? Okay. So those are the particular things that we'll be looking for today. Okay. So now let me get out of this. Give me 1 second there. And now we are looking at la pregunta. ¿Qué haces por la mañana? Okay. That is one of our biggest questions when it comes to being able to utilize not only los verbos reflexivos, but also understanding that this is kind of how you're going to set up a conversation, all right, with someone when you are talking about tu rutina diaria, your daily routine. Okay, so let's look at what we've got going on. Excuse me. All right, so first thing is this. We've got this. This is a little bit of a review. All right, a little bit of a review from what we were working on lunes on Monday. Okay, so we're gonna tackle this. So I wake up or I get up, right? Me despierto, right? Me despierto. Okay, I wake up, and then we have me levanto, right? Me levanto. I get up. Okay, me levanto. So if you weren't with us lunes, if you weren't with us on Monday, this is where you can actually get that information from what we were talking about on Monday. And of course, you can watch the live. Okay, you can watch the live here and get the information from there as well. I'm just doing some last minute setup here. And then our next one is la próxima. Okay, so we're getting ready, right? We're getting ready. Me preparo, right? Me preparo. I'm preparing myself or I'm getting ready. Me preparo. All right. We also have another word that we can use. Me arreglo. Right. Hola, señor Bruce. Bienvenido, señor. All right. Me arreglo. And I'm going to put that in the chat for everyone. Me arreglo. Y también tenemos me preparo. Okay. Me arreglo. Like that's like I arrange myself or I get ready. All right. It's also similar to me preparo. All right. So this is one that we use. Also, put that in the chat for you. Y aquí tenemos me cepillo los dientes. Some people might even say me lavo los dientes. All right. So let's break this down. I brush my teeth. Los dientes being teeth. The way that you can remember the word teeth, dental, right? Dientes, very similar in the way it appears in Espanol. Okay. All right. This is a new one for us. We didn't have this one el lunes. All right. Me afeito. Okay. Me afeito. Not everybody uses this format, this word, but this is one that you can utilize me afeito for saying I shave. Okay, I shave, me afeito. Okay. Y ahora también tenemos me lavo, like I wash myself. O for body part, puede incluir me lavo la cara, right? I wash my face. Me lavo la cara. Okay. Y también tenemos, this is another new one that we didn't have on Monday. Me ducho. Okay. Me ducho. I shower. Not often do people use this, but there's a large majority of people that actually use me ducho, okay, which simply means I shower. Now, there's a small discrepancy between showering and like bathing, right? But the words do change in English as well as in Espanol. All right. Me baño. Right. Me baño. Which me baño can mean like I take a bath. I bathe myself is actually what it means here. Me baño. I bathe myself. Oh man. We remember them days in Alemania, in Germany, back in the early 90s with that comment right there, Bruce. Oh man. Brings back memories. Way back Wednesdays. Okay. Now, después de bañarme, all right, after I bathe myself or después de ducharme, me seco. Okay, me seco. I dry off. Me seco. Okay. Y aquí tenemos, after you dry off, of course, we're going to put on some clothes here. So we've got me visto. I get dressed, right? Me visto. O también podemos decir me pongo la ropa, right? Me pongo la ropa. Okay. Me pongo la ropa. Catch this thing up over here. Okay. Después de eso tenemos me cepillo el pelo, right? We talked about this on Monday as well. I brush my hair. Me cepillo el pelo. Me cepillo el pelo. Me visto, like I get dressed. Yeah, that's what that is, Bruce. Me visto, I get dressed. Okay. Me visto. Oh, you might comb your hair, right? So podemos decir me peino, right? Me peino. I comb my hair. And I want to make sure this is large enough for everybody to see either now or on the replay. Yes, it is. We're doing good here. All right. Me peino. I comb my hair. That one phrase literally says I comb my hair. Me peino. All right. All right. Now we're getting away from doing actions to ourselves and talking more about our routine. Okay. So after you do all that, you might head downstairs or head to la cocina, to the kitchen, and you can use this one word to say, I eat breakfast. Desayuno. All right. Desayuno. I eat breakfast. This comes from the verb. Viene del verbo desayunar. All right. Desayunar, to eat breakfast or to have breakfast. So I could literally say, yo desayuno en la cocina. O yo desayuno en la escuela, en la cafetería. Right. So all you're literally saying is I eat breakfast in the kitchen or I eat breakfast in the cafeteria at school. Well, talking about this guy. Or you might say, we might say yo desayuno in Wendy's. I don't know, wherever you go for breakfast. Okay. This is just one that's thrown in. It's not necessarily talking about what you do in the morning, although there are some people, we could add some things in here like, yo uso mi teléfono. Right now we're looking at I watch TV, veo la tele. All right. Veo la tele. So, veo la tele, I watch TV. Yo uso mi teléfono, right? I use my phone. Yo entro Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I log into either of those, whichever one you want to use there in your rutina diaria. And then for the majority of us here, all right, tenemos el verbo irse. El verbo irse significa to leave. Different from ir. El verbo ir significa to go, but when we have irse, it becomes reflexive. All right. And so what we're saying here is to leave. That is the one difference. Just adding say to the end gives us an entirely different word. That one random guy gave us a phrase on Monday. We're using it here. Me voy al trabajo. All right. Me voy al trabajo. I leave for work or I go to work. Whatever way you want to say it in English doesn't really matter. But me voy al trabajo. All right. I go to work or I leave for work. All right, so now we've gotten through the remaining portion of our, rutina diaria, but we're going to dive in a little deeper here. Make sure you understand what it is we're doing with these verbos reflexivos, right? Remember the 5 questions that we started off with at the beginning here on the replay. Of course, you could go back and check those 5 out. Stick around to the end. We'll review those to make sure you've got this thing. Okay, so aquí tenemos. A reflexive verb is used to show that a person does an action to him or herself, kind of like a reflex, right? You take that thing the doctor gave you, he uses at the doctor's office, hits you on the knee, and then it kicks your leg out, right? So that's kind of a reflex. It's basically an action being done, and then you're giving us an opposite action based on what it is that you're doing. So we're going to kind of go with that process, that mindset when we talk about reflexive verbs. We're doing an action and it's actually taking care of another part of your body. Okay. So each reflexive verb requires what we call a reflexive pronoun. All right. So what does all these big words mean? It's not a big thing right now. It's just going to kind of break it down for you. So when we see them again, you'll actually understand what they are. But the biggest thing is this: whatever that verb is that you're using, the pronoun has to match. Okay. That's the biggest thing that we have to understand here. Okay. So you can identify what a reflexive verb looks like because it'll have say attached to the end of the verb in its basic form. And that's what we call infinitive form, the basic form of a verb. Okay. Right. So, entonces, ¿cuáles son los pronombres reflexivos? All right. So, what are our reflexive pronouns in Espanol? What are the reflexive pronouns in Espanol? All right. So, here we have them. Remember, we talked about our subjects in our previous classes. I might link that to this actual live stream here. But we talked about our subject pronouns, right? The personal pronouns. I, you, he, she, we, they, and y'all, right? We talked about those previously. So this is kind of just showing you which ones the personal pronouns and reflexive pronouns attach themselves to. So here we have me, te, se. And we use se with él, ella, and usted. Okay? Me, te, se. Nosotros, we use nos as our pronoun. Okay? Nos. And then ellos, ellas, and ustedes, they all use se. Now, remember, if you're joining us here across the pond over here on this side of the world in Los Estados Unidos or in Latino America, not very often are you going to find people using vosotros. In fact, vosotros, V-O-S-O-T-R-O-A-S, or vosotras, is only used predominantly in España, in Spain, to signify you all or y'all in a familiar way. Okay, so but over here across the pond, as we like to say, we just use ustedes. All right, in España they use ustedes for a formal aspect of you all. Okay, but we only use it here. We just use that. That's the only one that we use here on this side of the ocean. Okay, los verbos reflexivos. All right, still talking about those. So we have a couple examples right here. And it's literally saying the same thing. And what we're trying to get across here is the placement of a reflexive pronoun. Where can it go when I'm making a statement? You have two options. Okay. And I'm going to explain which option is probably best for you. So if we have, let's look at the bullet. It says sometimes verbs can be used with reflexive pronouns that refer to the subject or with direct objects that are different from the subject. So let's take a look at the two examples here. Me voy a lavar la cara. All right. Y también tenemos voy a lavarme la cara. All right. So me voy a lavar la cara and voy a lavarme la cara. If you look at these, they're exactly the same, right? But what we have to realize is this: it's all about just placing that pronoun, that reflexive pronoun. It's not going to change the meaning of the sentence whatsoever. They still say, I'm going to wash my face. All right. Both of them say it. Now let's break it down. Which one is more commonly used by people that learn Spanish as a second language? That's going to probably be the bottom one. Voy a lavarme la cara, because we grow up reading left to right. Okay. We grow up reading left to right. So what you want to make sure you understand is you've got options here, and you only have options when we have two verbs present. What do I mean by that? We've got a conjugated verb, a verb that matches the subject. Okay. So you've got to have a verb that's conjugated that matches the subject. And then you've also got to have an infinitive. You've got to have both to be able to utilize that rule of placing your pronoun. If you only have just a conjugated verb, then we have to put it before the conjugated verb. So let me give you an example. All right, so let's put it in the chat too, so you can see what I'm talking about. What if I say, I wash my face, right? I wash my face. We have to say, me lavo la cara. I want you to take a look in the chat there. And if you're joining us on the replay, it's the chat will still be there. But we've got me lavo la cara, okay? And I want to see if there's something that I can do here that's going to, oh man, no. So, me lavo la cara, okay? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Figured it out. Oh man, that's what happens when you do this stuff a lot, right? So, me lavo la cara. Notice that we have a conjugated verb here, right? Lavo, wash, right? And so, because we only have one verb, the action, we have to put the pronoun in front because you're doing it. It's a reflexive action. Whose face are you actually washing? My own face. So I'm doing the action to myself. Therefore, I have to use me. Okay, me lavo la cara. Now, what we're going to do is we're now going to take it a step further and go back to what we see on the screen, right? So we see the second version, and we can look at it and say, okay, I've got two verbs here. I've got lavar in its basic form, to wash, and then we've got I'm going. That's your action, right? I'm going. So me voy a lavar la cara. I'm going to wash my face. The conjugated verb, you have the option of putting your pronoun in front, or you can place it after and attached to an infinitive. Okay. We're going to get some more examples with that, but we want to make sure we drive it home so that you can understand what we're talking about here. All right. So just to remind ourselves here, always going to give you a reminder, even though we've gone through it already. Somebody might join us late. So I want you to make sure you have this down. Reflexive verbs have two parts. They've got a pronoun, which is me, te, se, nos, or se. And then they've got a conjugated verb. First and foremost, those have to go together. Okay. And then, of course, your reflexive pronoun can go with your subject pronoun. Yo, me, tú, te, él, se, so on and so forth. We'll take a look a little later here. Right. So let's break it down for the people that are not easily seeing it broke or whatever, right? Something like that. Lavarse. Okay. Lavarse. To wash one's self. You're doing the action to yourself, to wash oneself, right? Okay. So remember, we said that how can I identify a reflexive verb? Well, first and foremost, 98% of the time, 95, 98% of the time, you will see a reflexive verb in its basic form with that se attached. Is that the only way to recognize it? No, because we can put any of those pronouns that we saw, me, te, se, nos, or se, on the end, and it could mean something entirely different. Lavarme, wash my, right? Lavarte, wash your. You get the idea. So let's break this thing down. So what we have here is our basic form of the verb, lavar, the infinitive, okay? The verb that's not conjugated, right? And then we've got say. Lines are a little off, but you get the idea here. Say, which is your reflexive pronoun, okay? That's how you make a reflexive verb. It combines the verb, the action, and the pronoun, okay? So now, in English, we really don't identify with reflexive verbs, okay? So this might seem a little strange is what we want to make sure we address, okay? A lot of times we don't even say, like if I say I take a shower, I don't say I'm going to shower myself at 3:00, right? We don't say that in English, but the concept is the same, okay? The concept is the same. I'm going to shower. I'm going to take a shower. You're going to do the showering act to yourself, okay? So now, in English, a sentence using a so-called reflexive verb might be Lauren brushes her hair. That's an example. That's similar to what we would say in Espanol. All right, that's very similar there. And then we've got XL Pro. Glad to see you in the building, baby. All right. Lauren brushes her hair. Then también tenemos Scott bathes himself. Scott bathes himself. All right. He's doing the action to himself. These are reflexive verbs. My man Jamon. Que lo que, señor? Bienvenido. I haven't seen you in a while, man. We've both been grinding. Hope all is good. Those guys are in the building. All right. Now, you must remember that these are actions being done to oneself by oneself. Kind of like the FUBU thing, right? For you, by you. Or not quite for us, by us. But you get the point. Okay. You get the point. You're doing this to yourself. The action you are doing to yourself. Okay. I wash my hair. In other words, I'm washing my own hair. Okay. También, let's look at the pronouns here. So, me, myself, to or for myself. Te, to or for yourself. Say, to or for himself, herself, and then yourself formal. Now, I know you're looking at that and you're like, all right, man, if I want to say, for example, he washes his face. And somebody might say, oh, well, he washes his face. Let me type that in the chat. That's so easy. We could just simply say, se lava la cara. Se lava la cara. Like we could say that. Thank you, Carolina Language Solutions, for giving us the answer. Didn't realize I was typing that in the wrong one. All right. Se lava la cara. Okay, so cool. Now we see that. The problem is this, though. What are we going to do? How do I know that that's saying he washes his face? How do I know that? Okay. How do I know that? We actually don't know that it said he washes his face. So check out how we clarify, because in conversations, you might have to clarify if the person that you're talking about isn't known from the beginning, right? So we're going to say, él se lava la cara, or let's change it up. What if I said this? I'm not even going to say what it is. I want to see if you can pick up what I'm putting down in this response here, and I'm going to put it on the screen for you. Ella se lava la cara. Somebody tell me in the chat, based on what we know, se lava la cara to mean washes his, her, or your face. We're clarifying the situation. You're in a conversation and somebody says, oh, ella se lava la cara en la mañana. Right? If they say that, what are they telling you here? Okay, that's what we want to know. If somebody says, ella se lava la cara, all right, my man Jermon, yes, sir, we are going to be in the building for that. All right, so we're looking at ella se lava la cara as she washes her face. Okay, we've got to clarify when you're using the pronoun se. Okay, let's keep it going to the plural side. The plural side, los pronombres plurales, right? Los pronombres plurales. So we've got nos for ourselves. Now, I don't want you to make this mistake. Yeah, Bruce. Man, y'all, tangent. I got some ADHD medicine over here for y'all, man. Y'all want to stay focused over there with me. So, nos. A lot of people want to say, oh, man, I could just use that as an abbreviation for nosotros. You cannot. Nosotros, and make sure you jot this note down, okay? Make sure you jot this note down. I'm also going to put it in the chat because it's super important. Nosotros. Oh, man, C7, appreciate you being here. It's been a minute. And I'm saying it like it's not my fault. Like, of course it's my fault. I haven't had it live, so I'm not going to see y'all as often as I would. All right, so I'm going to put this note, though, in here. Nosotros or nosotras cannot be abbreviated for nos. Never in your life should you ever do that. Okay, let's put that on the screen so you'll see that. Nosotros or nosotras cannot be abbreviated for nos. Cannot do that. Nosotros means we. Hey, well, bienvenido, señor. Welcome back. How was it? Let us know in the chat. How was good old Brazil? And then what city did you or cities did you hit? All right. So nosotros is we. That's the only thing it can be. Nos is going to be ourselves. Okay. Ourselves. Make sure you know that. Let's keep it moving. Vamos a continuar. Os in red for España. Not going to really talk about it a whole lot, but it does mean you all in a familiar way. Like, oh, y'all going to the store today? Talking to like your homies, your friends, your friends, amigos, panas, whatever you call them. Now, if you look left or right, I know you're doing one of those double take situations. How do you have the same word, profe, on the right and on the left, and it means 6 different things? How's that possible? Well, the thing is this. It's all about clarification, okay? It's all about clarification. Let me take this off the screen so we can see what I'm talking about here. You're looking at it like, man, there's 6 things for say. Well, if you clarify one at a time, it's not going to mean those 6 things. If I say a ellos se lavan las piernas, right? They wash their legs, okay? Oh man, C7, we're talking about going to Thailand in 2 months, man. So if you having mixed feelings about that distance to Brazil, woo boy, I wish they could take a break on a flight. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and take well, you got the layovers, I guess. So that's technically a break. Not that one across that Pacific, though. Anyways, I digress. All right, so we want to make sure you clarify when you're using se. All right, so let's take a look at some other things here. So we're talking about the verb lavarse, right? The verb lavarse, to wash oneself. Go ahead and jot that down if you didn't get it earlier, if you're just joining us in the live stream here. I want to make sure you understand that I'm giving you some basics, and you can use these basics to kind of research on your own when I'm not live or when you're not watching a live stream or a class on YouTube or what have you. I'm gonna kind of give you some basic things that you can research on your own, okay, and find some more vocabulary to practice with. All right, so we had this earlier, and I'm gonna put it on the screen here. Lavarse, to wash oneself, right? So we're getting ready to break it down from a subject standpoint. I wash myself, you wash yourself, he washes himself, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's take a look here. Okay, so C7, I'm reading myself. Now that I've figured out how to do this, I was able to understand a lot of Portuguese that I could read, but listen at their speed was difficult. Yeah. Portuguese is different. It's very different in how they speak it. It's like somebody singing to me. I mean, it's very melodic, for lack of better words. I enjoy it, but it takes, if you've been focusing on Spanish for so long, And then you go to hear in Portuguese, you're like, man, what are they talking about? Well, it's got a little different vibe to it. But yes, that is true. But the good thing is, I will tell you this: if you're joining us here and you haven't heard me say this before, if you get this Spanish thing down, Spanish is like 70 to 75%. Portuguese is like 70 to 75% Spanish, basically. If you think about it like that and, approach it with a positive attitude, if you get 100% or 90% of this down, you can have anywhere between 50 to 60% of Portuguese down. Okay. So that's a thing that you want to, take into account. So you wash yourself, he or she, or it washes himself, or you form a wash yourself. We wash ourselves, and then, they wash themselves, or you all wash yourselves. Jermon, I heard that, but actually it's very similar in a lot of words, right? I got a colleague that is from Romania, and she was just basically telling me herself she can understand 70% of what a Spanish speaker is saying because a lot of their words are very similar. Let's put that on the screen here. I'm glad you brought that up because I often forget that Romanian is actually one of the first, if not the first, it's actually, I think, the first Romance language, right? It is, but it is a different beast. So I do agree with that because it's, further off. It's not on that realm. It's not in that realm where all of our other Romance languages come from. But yes, I do agree. All right, here we go. Conjugation time, baby. Me lavo, right? I wash myself. Yo me lavo. Tú te lavas. You wash yourself. Él se lava. He washes himself. Ella se lava. She washes herself. Usted se lava. You formal wash yourself. Nosotros nos lavamos. All right. Nosotros nos lavamos. We wash ourselves. Now, if you understand what we're doing here, the order that you saw on the previous slide is the same exact thing here in Espanol. So if you got to watch a replay, don't feel ashamed. Okay. Literally, if they'd have had this when I was in school, if YouTube would have been around when I was in elementary or high school, yeah, I'd probably go to Harvard or somewhere like that. Berkeley, UCal, Berkeley. Maybe. I don't know. That's a stretch. But they'd have had YouTube, man. This would have been a great situation. Vosotros os laváis. All right. You all wash yourselves in España, right? We got to remember that one. That spot is locked down by Spain, by the way. You're never going to see me put anything else in here. I'm going to try not to. It's always locked down by you all or y'all, okay? But from vosotros. Oftentimes, you will see me leave it blank. Just remember, that is the spot for the conjugation for y'all in España. All right, then the last one. Ellos, ellas se lavan. Ustedes se lavan. Hey, man, gracias, señor. I appreciate that. C7, man. You must have came back with some money. You got money to hit me with a cash app. That tells me good things about Brazil. I appreciate that. Then that means we can save some money over there. You better say that. Appreciate you, Chief. But yes. Oh, first and foremost, I want to make sure I switch that up because some people they do ask me, and I'm like, what, huh? So make sure. If you need that Cash App information, it is at the bottom of the screen. I'll leave it scrolling for now, but I do like for you to make sure that you share this out, right? Share this video out to those people looking to get free lessons, man. You're not going to come across too many people giving live free lessons at this time of the day because what I've seen on YouTube, people that, give live lessons, it's usually like in Spain and they're doing it at the time that's convenient for them. So it could be like, 2:30 in the morning and then you just got to catch the replay. So definitely let these people know, share that thing out. So we've got Speak Spanish Now, $ with that for the Cash App. Now we're repeating the 5 statements that we made at the beginning or the 5 questions. Reflexive pronouns. Before the conjugated verb, make sure you see this. Our conjugated verb is boy. I'm going. All right. I'm going. Boy. Now, if you didn't know that boy means I'm going, jot that down. Put that in your notebook as well. All right. En tu cuaderno, libreta. All right. we're just, basically, I think what we're going to do is we're going to just switch up some stuff. I feel like a DJ over here. Just going to change the little ticker every now and then. All right. Now, it can also go after and attached to the infinitive. I know you're like, bro, you already said that. Well, if you're getting it, that's good stuff. That is good stuff. If you're saying, man, you just said that, or I want to make sure I drive it home. It is super, super important. After and attached to an infinitive, take a look. Voy a lavarme el pelo. I charge you with this question again in the chat, and you just hit me with a 1 or a 2. True or false? True being 1, falso being number 2. True or false? These two sentences say different things. They don't say the exact same thing in English or in Spanish. 1 being true, 2 being false. These two sentences do not say the same thing. True or false? They do not say the same thing. Hit me with a 1 or a 2 in the chat. 1 being true, 2 being false. These two sentences do not say the same thing. All right, Bruce, you're saying true. They do not say the same thing. Is that what y'all saying? Or do I have the question mixed up already? Like, I'm old, so you got to make sure. Did I say these two sentences do not say the same thing? Have I been saying that? I hope so. I hope I've been saying that. Somebody hit me in the chat. Let me know. I hope that's what the question was that I initially set off here. Because technically, what we want you to do, okay, so what I want you to do is think about this now. Me voy a lavar el pelo. Or voy a lavarme el pelo. Now, before we get into a right or wrong thing, I want you to look at these two statements. Are there any different words? Ask yourself that. Are there any different words here? And think about the answer that you gave. Yes, C7, you're right. They say the exact same thing. I gave you a trick. It was a trick question. By gosh, I tricked all of you. Okay. Didn't expect that to happen. So let's make sure we break this down. The question was, these two statements do not say the same thing. That was the statement I said. We came back and said true. They don't say the same thing. Well, actually, they do. The point that I'm driving home is this, and I'm going to type it in the chat as I say it. It does not matter where your reflexive pronoun goes, whether it's at the front before the conjugated verb, or if it's after and attached to the infinitive. It does not matter its placement. It is still saying the same exact thing. The placement does not matter. It's still saying the exact same thing. That's why I said just look at the two statements. Do they resemble each other, right? Okay, yeah. Well, you didn't hear it wrong, C7. It was a trick question. Like I could legitimately just said, hey, true or false? These statements say the same thing. Yeah. Call it a wrong question or call it a trick question, whatever y'all want to say. Hey, glad y'all here. That's all that matters. But did I make it clear though when we went through the explanation? That's what I need to know. All right. Did I make it clear once we went through the explanation? All right. That's what we want to make sure we understand. It does not matter the placement of the pronoun, which is highlighted in yellow. It can be before the conjugated verb or after and attached to the infinitive. Does not matter its placement. The statement will still be the same. Okay. So now we're going to jump into a couple of more verbs here. Just give you some rundown. Okay. So here we go. We got cepillarse. Now, cepillarse, to brush, right? I want you to work on conjugating this verb, putting it correctly. So you got a couple of things that you've got to remember here. We've got to remember what are our AR endings for verbs. If you don't remember that, we've got a video I'll connect to this one. Okay. What are the AR endings? And then which pronoun do I use? Okay. I'm going to do this one with you. Me cepillo. I've underlined the ending that goes with the yo form. Yo me cepillo. Yo me cepillo los dientes, right? Tú te cepillas los dientes, okay? Él o ella o usted se cepilla los dientes. The plural side. Nosotros nos cepillamos los dientes. Nosotros nos cepillamos los dientes. Okay. Vosotros, in España, in Spain, vosotros os cepilláis. Not that I'm, it's here, so we're going to talk about it. Might be the last time you see that vosotros form. Ellos, ellas o ustedes se cepillan los dientes. Okay? They brush their teeth. Or you all brush your teeth. My man, Brazil, yes. Thank you for pulling up today, senor. All right, get this Espanol in you. Okay, I know you do the brasileiro, Portuguese or Portuguese brasileiro, man. We want to see. And while you're here, hey, tell me if you know these words. Yes, let me know what's the conjugation in the chat. And we can kind of do a 2-for-1 situation here. We can conjugate it here in Espanol, and then I'll throw up the one that's in Portuguese in the chat if you stick around. So, aquí tenemos el verbo ducharse. And if you want to challenge yourself, anybody that's in the chat that you know Romanian, you know Brazilian Portuguese or Portuguese in general, anything that relates to a Romance language, if you know the synonym, well, not the synonym, take that back. The translation or the word in another language, place it in the chat. So aquí tenemos ducharse. Now, if you've been with me from the beginning, you know that ducharse significa to shower or to shower one's self, right? Take a look. Yo me ducho, right? Yo me ducho. Tú te duchas, right? You shower. Oh, man. Él o ella se ducha. He or she showers. Nosotros nos duchamos. Okay. We shower. Os ducháis o vosotros os ducháis. Okay. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes se duchan. Okay. They or y'all shower. And if you're picking up what I'm putting down, make sure you let us know. If you're not, hit me. That lets me know. Also tell me in the chat, because that I can go back, not in this live, but we can always revisit it a new live and do another version. I can break it down a different way. So if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, let me know in the chat. That lets me know to take a note here and say, okay, you got to explain this a little better. Okay. But if you've been with me from the beginning, hopefully it's kind of making some sense, or it's slowly seeping into your brain. Okay, so here we go. We've got another bullet point we got to take into account. When using reflexive verbs, right, to talk about body parts of the body. Oh, whoa. Talk about parts of the body. Use the words, Bruce Rain. It is nos for we. Say could be, remember, that's he or she. It was 6 things, right? He, she, you formal being like he, she, you formal. That, well, may, te, let me get to my camera. May, te, say, right? That say could mean 6 things, right? He, she, you formal, when you're talking to like somebody older than you, or somebody you don't know, or somebody you want to show respect to. And then on the other side, remember on the right side of the screen, we had nos and say. Okay, nos and say. Okay, good. But I'm glad, even if you see, that's the thing. I didn't really believe in that. This is a little tangent, but when we were in school and using, how we had teachers be like, "Hey, the question you don't ask is the stupid question," right? I'm glad we have people that aren't afraid to put the questions out there, because I guarantee you, I know for a fact, after 23 years of teaching Spanish, there's always going to be a question that somebody wants to ask that they don't ask and they end up doing something wrong. So shout out to you, Bruce Rain, for putting that question out there. so that people can see it. Now, let's get back to what we are talking about right here. Definite article. If you've ever watched one of my shorts, I talked about it a couple weeks ago with the word definite article. And it's only one word in English. It's the word the or the, wherever you're from. Tomato, tomato, right? The. We only have one of those. In Spanish, en español, tenemos el, la, los, and las. All right. In Portuguese, I think we've got o, a, something like that. I can't remember. It's going blank real quick. O, a, and then os and as, I think it is in Portuguese. If Yesh is in here, he can definitely give us confirmation on that. So what are we talking about here? When you're doing an action to a body part, you're not going to say, and we talked about this on Monday, you're not going to say like, me lavo mi cara. We already know it's your face. You don't have to tell me I wash my face. If you're saying I'm washing my face or me lavo la cara, I know it's your face by you using the pronoun me because you're doing the action to yourself. So it's like a double entendre, maybe? No, it's oxymoronic. That's what it is. Like you're repeating yourself for no reason. So that's why we're saying use el, la, los, and las with those body parts. And if you caught the short that I did on lunes, okay, if you caught that short, I think it was, lunes, you should know a couple of body parts already. So let's take a look. Aquí tenemos ejemplos, right? Let's take this off the screen too. Aquí tenemos los ejemplos. Here we've got some examples. Nos lavamos el pelo. Okay. We wash our hair. All right. Nos lavamos el pelo. Now, some people be like, wait a minute now. Why don't you have los pelos, like hairs? Well, of course, we've got multiple hairs, but that's not going to sound right, right? Each person has a head of hair on their body. Nos lavamos el pelo. Okay. So think of it in that concept. The next one. ¿Se cepilla los dientes? All right. Are you brushing your teeth? ¿Te cepilla los dientes? Okay. Two examples. So we're coming up on the tail end here. We want to start filling in some information here, okay? Because I want to make sure I'm not the only person that gets this. So I want you to try your chance at filling in these blanks here. The placements. And actually, we only need to do two of them. All right, because we only talked about two today. The third one will not count for us today. The placement of reflexive pronouns. Where can they go? Where can that may go? Where can that te go? Say, no, and say. Where can they go? There's two places. What were those two places that we discussed? Okay. What were those two places that we discussed? Okay. Make sure you get hit that thumbs up, like my man says. Hit the thumbs up, fellas. Hit the thumbs up. If you're in here and you're gaining value, hopefully you're gaining value in here today. So make sure you hit that thumbs up if you are visiting and you're in and out, or if you're catching the replay, always hit that thumbs up so that I know. Check it out. Two places, right? Two places. It can either go before the conjugated verb or after and attached to an infinitive. But you can't just attach it to an infinitive. You've got to have a conjugated verb and an infinitive, okay? Otherwise, it just goes in front of the conjugated verb. Let's look at the bullet point because we're not going to do a third place, not today. Because the reflexive pronouns we will be using refer to the body or clothing, you must use el, la, los, and las. I know it seems like it's redundant. Like I just keep saying it's important, right? Or like my man Grant Cardone says, it's important. All right. Anyways, here are our questions. And we're gonna close with this because I want to make sure you understand these questions. And if not, thanks for watching, but go back and rewatch, right? Because I want to make sure you get this. Here are your answers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just replay the video, right? Replay the video and you'll find the nuggets in the video. What is a reflexive verb? Okay. What is a reflexive verb? A reflexive verb is an action that a person does to him or herself. That's all you got to think about. Okay. When do I use a reflexive verb? Okay. Like what's the point of using it? I just told you, right? To show that you're doing an action to yourself. Okay. What's up, baby? What's up now? He said, what are the reflex? What's up, Yesh? He said, what are the reflexive pronouns in Spanish? What are the reflexive pronouns in Spanish? I swear I got a song for you. I got to go back on a flash drive and look it up. This was before Google. I used to dabble in Spanish rap. It's back in the early 2000s. So the song goes something like, let me see if I can. But it's not really. It's not a rap. It's like a song, a legit R&B. Like Mete say nos os say something like that. Mete, I gotta remember. I gotta go back and look at it. Mete say nos os y say. I get it. It'll come back to me. But those are your pronouns. Mete say nos os in España and say. We don't use os over here on this side of the ocean. Where do I place a reflexive pronoun in a sentence in Spanish? All right. Check this out. We just talked about it. 2 places, right? Before a conjugated verb. And these rules, Yesh can tell you if he's in here. Yes, you probably can tell us. These are not the same rules that we have to follow in Portuguese. That's why Portuguese is a lot easier for some people, especially if you start out with Spanish. You're like, man, this is a breeze compared to what you have to do in Spanish. All right. But once you learn the hardest stuff, it's like I break it down like this. And I don't normally tell people this, but you've got to, if you like math, if you're a mathematical person, right? Think about Spanish and Portuguese being division. Okay. Spanish is your long division. And then, when we got to 5th grade, they showed us the short way to do division. Yeah. So I want you to think of that. Think of the languages like that. Spanish is your long division. Portuguese is your short division. There's a lot of shortcuts that we can take in Portuguese that you don't or you can't take in Spanish. So let's go back to bullet number 4. Where do I place a reflexive pronoun in a sentence? Before a conjugated verb, after, and attached to an infinitive. I hit you with these movements because, if you're a dancer, you used to be a dancer, and you used to hit the movements after and attached. Okay, just work that. Before the conjugated verb, after and attached. Dance moves right there with the actions right here with the questions. And then lastly, how do I conjugate a reflexive verb? There is a video, and if you watch the last video from Monday, like when we just started off in reflexive verbs, I told you we're gonna go all the way in on this. But I linked a video to my man, Senor, I forgot, Senor something. Man, I used to watch this. He shot this video when Crimea River, Reflexive Verbs. And I'm gonna put it in the chat. Senor, I forget this dude's name. But I'm gonna tell you what, if that video, I think that video came out in like 2011 or something like that. Like, when YouTube was fresh on the scene. Reflexive Verbs. All right. All right, that's what's up. Shout out to you, bro. All right, so Reflexive Verbs. I want you all to look this up on YouTube. And if my moderator can find the link really quickly, because this is what he does. If you can find that link to that title of the video, it's the very first one. It's the one that's not in HD. That's how old it is. I want you to watch that video. This is your homework. I want you to take this home with you. And I'm going to link it to this video once I can do all of the alterations. But that video shows you how to conjugate a verb. And so some of the lyrics from the song, and it's in the tune of Sexy Back, right? Justin Timberlake. All right. So it's to the tune of that. So it's very catchy. But the rules are this: how to conjugate a reflexive verb. First and foremost, you're going to take that say off the end, right? Because we said that's the basic form. Like cepillarse, right? Ducharse, bañarse, secarse, right? We're going to take that say off the end, put it in our pocket, right? Then we're left with what we are normally used to seeing, a verb that ends in AR, ER, or IR. We're going to take that off, that AR, IR off, separate it. We're going to put our ending to match our subject there. So if it's a yo form, we're going to end it in O. So let's think about the verb lavarse, right? Lavarse. I wish I had like a, let's go to the telestrator, Bob. I wish I had like a whiteboard I could just pull up right now and make this happen. But unfortunately, I cannot. But I can do, wait a minute, what is this? Edit layout. No, that's not going to help me. I was going to say, man, they do have a whiteboard. Oh, I got a little happy. Yes, that is the video. That is the video right there. I want to make sure you have that locked and loaded. I mean, it's probably got millions of views. I played it for like literally 12 years straight. I played it for 12 years straight. So, and I'm talking about, 9 months a year type thing. All right, anyways. So first thing is we're talking about lavarse. We're going to break it down, right? Stepwise, going steps. Here we go. Steps in the chat. We've got to lavarse, to wash oneself. First thing is we got to take that say off. All right, put it in our pocket. All right, so we're there, right? There you go. You got say in your pocket. Then we're going to take that AR off. That tells us what kind of verb it is. Now we're left with the, if you remember when we started off doing conjugations, right? Remember we took the flower out of the ground, right? We took the root off. The root is the AR. We're now left with the stem, LAV, right? You with me? Give me a head nod. I see you out there. So now you've got that AR in your pocket. In the other pocket. We got two pockets, right? Make pants with two pockets. We got the say in one pocket. We got the AR in the other pocket. Now you've got to come up with the ending that you need to make agree with who is doing the action. Okay. I am washing my hands. Right. So we know that's going to be, oh, that's yo. Okay. Yeah, yo. That's what I'm left with. All right. We're going the long way. This is long division. Right. Just think of it like that. Now I know that, oh, all yo forms for the majority of them end in O. Okay. So that's going to be lavo. All right. All right, cool. Now we've got the conjugated form. The last thing that you have to do is take that say out of your pocket, flip it around, put it at the front. Me lavo. Okay? Me lavo. I know you saw it. And it happened all in the chat. That's why I tell people, make sure when you come in, if you're going to watch a video live with me, you got to be here live because everything, it goes down in the chat, right? You're going to see that because I don't have, I haven't figured, I don't say I don't have, I just haven't figured it out how to get this thing going where I put a blank screen in here. Let's go to the telestrator, Bob. And then I just draw on the screen. Got to give me a touch screen monitor. Moderator, look that up for me. Touch screen, I need a touch screen monitor. Yeah, find that for me, okay? We blowing up out here. At least we thought we were. All right, so I'm going to hold this. I said I was going to jump into it, but I'm going to hold this, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros. We're not going to jump into the practice right now because what we did was we inundated, SAT word, inundated your brain with all of this information about la rutina diaria. And, yeah, go to the telestrator, Bob, piece of paper, and just hold the paper up to the screen. Oh, man, I thought we was in 2023, man. All right, hey, no doubt. Appreciate you, TSG Uncut, for jumping in here and checking this out. And then, ladies and gentlemen, TSG, hit us with the time frame. What are we looking at? 6:45 Eastern Standard Time? Because right now you can go from right here, get you a little something to eat, maybe some biscuits and gravy. I don't know. That's morning time. Depending on where you are, it could be biscuit and gravy. Maybe you get some biscuits, some cornbread, a couple pork chops, some applesauce, collard green. Get that, eat that down. And I think we're heading over to TSG's crib at 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. Correct me if I'm wrong, TSG, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw today. He out here doing double headers. I'm about to be like him when I grow up. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for joining us again today. Mil gracias. I think we're going to come back again. Okay, 45 minutes. Okay, yeah, so 6:45. So we're going to come back again. I'm trying to get on his level. So, guess what I'm going to do? We're going to come back again on Saturday. Okay, Saturday. And then we're going to do just a quick Saturday morning practice. Okay, kind of like back in the day doing football season in the summertime. Yeah, we got practice a las 8 de la mañana, a las 7 de la mañana, right? Back then before the whole greenhouse effect and all that was going on. All right, yes, the after party. After the party, it's the after party, right? After the party, it's the after party. It's in Vegas, baby. We're going to Vegas for the after party, as we should with TSG Uncut. But we're going to come back on Saturday. We're going to come back on Saturday afternoon. Okay, we want to make sure Sean's out the club, awake, showered. Okay, before we come on. So we're looking at probably like 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. Okay, we're just going to jump in here for about 25-30 minutes, and we're going to work on some practice with what we talked about today. I'm not going to hit you with no notes. Okay, so don't be scared. Come on back on Saturday morning, 1 p.m. Central Eastern Standard Time, and then that's going to be what 10 o'clock. Oh man, you should definitely be up, Sean. 10 o'clock. Come on now. So we'll come back. We'll do about 30 minutes of practice. All right. I need you to go in on that. Okay. Oh man, let's put that up on the screen because now that I know how to do this, I thought I was gonna have to hit my man K and D up to learn how to do it. C7, the HOA Homesteader says, man, that's a cool name, the HOA Homesteader. All right, I'm trying to go to Thailand also between now and before Richie Mac's party, or between that time frame. One of my former coworkers is getting married in May. I might just go with them. Okay, my man, random guy. How did the party go? How was the fiesta de cumpleaños? Thank you for joining us. We want to tail in here, but thank you for joining us here. C7, I'm telling you, we were supposed, we looking like we might be derailed for a couple of hey, no te preocupes, señor. It's all good. It's all good. C7, I think we're derailed. We're gonna have to put ours on ice for a little bit, I think. But we were looking at going in May, so it's all on Bruce Ray. I mean, I'm not gonna go without him, but but yeah, we were looking to go to Thailand in May, but I do have another place up my sleeve. No, I got about 9 sleeves of places I can go from that time frame if we don't jump in there. All right, anyways, hey man, we can stay around here and shoot the crap or shoot the what they say in the South all night, all day. But we got places to be. We got to get ready for this after party going down with TSG Uncut. Make sure go ahead and share his channel for me, moderator. TSG Uncut. That's where the house party is going. I think you shared it earlier, but go ahead. Hey man, just go ahead and put it in there again. My travel just became an expat. My travel just became he stayed. Okay. Shout out to that guy. Oh man, random. That's great. That's great to hear. That random guy. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. All right. Hopefully you told her I said Feliz cumple. All right. So like I said, we can stick around here all day, man. But hey, we gotta go. We gotta go do some things. Okay. So meanwhile, Reflexive your verbi. Watch that video. Okay. Replay this video before Saturday. All right. Hit the important parts. I mean, pretty much, if you had to listen to me, everything was important that we just did right here. Okay. Everything is important that we just did right here. So watch the replay before we come back on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. I'm putting it down. It's going to go down. I got to come up with a thumbnail so I can put it out there for people. Oh man. And then also, what we want to make sure is I want to make sure that you're in the mix and you're ready to know that on what's today? Miércoles. So mañana I'm going to drop one of our listening comprehension videos. Hopefully you've been checking out the listening comprehension videos. Hey Will, what's up? OG Will in the building. All right. That's all right, man. But you're here now. That's what is important. Just go back and catch up. You know what I'm saying? The good thing about these videos, you can always replay them. All right. Just get back in the lab and check it out. But on Thursday, tomorrow, I'm going to drop the quick, Spanish on the go is what I like to call it. Spanish on the go videos, the listening comprehension videos. It's just going to be one little passage or one dialogue. I'm going to drop that, give you some questions to answer. If you want to check your answers out, all right, you want to see if you've got the right answers. You can do one of two things. Okay, you can put them in the comment section, or you can download the actual. And I mean, come on now, it's like 50 cents for the download. 50 cent It's 50 cents for the download. All you got to do is download the link, and it's going to give you the passage, and it's going to give you the correct answer choices, and it's going to give you why that answer choice is correct. That's what I'm giving you for 50 cents. All right. 50 centavos. All right. Break me off for 2 quarters. All right. Digitally. Okay. Pause. All right. That's it. Muchísimas gracias. Nos vemos. Oh, I got to hit you with the soy, Profe Don Omar. Nos vemos. Had to hit you with that.